Yes, sir. Yes, yes. Welcome back, y'all. Bro Foundation Podcast. How we living? How we living?
Living well, baby. Ready
Yes,
to get
sir.
to it, baby.
Yes, sir. How
Uh,
y'all been this week, man? Everybody good?
Thriving.
That's a good
Got to.
word. That's a
Got
good
to,
word.
baby.
Yeah.
That's it
It's
right
all about
there.
action-packed week for me, man. So it's all action this week, man. I've been told myself this is really gonna be an action week for me. So
What you mean?
everything
Okay.
that I everything that I wanted to do, I got up at 3:45, going to hit the gym. It's all about action. It's just what I've been doing all week long, bro. So hopefully just create some new habits to get
Yes,
it
sir.
done.
He going beast mode. He all about that action, boss.
Yeah, my homeboy had just tagged me last night. You remember Cali, man? Tally, shout out to
Yeah,
Tally,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he doing 100 push-ups a day for 30 for the next to the end of June. Um, so I told him earlier. I said, man, that 50, that nonstop 50 this morning, damn near killed me. But I had, after working out, but I had to get it in. So I'm not looking forward to the last 50, but I got to do it. So I told him I was going to hit the challenge and let's do it. You know.
What's up, man?
Don't feel bad. I'm doing 1,000 jump ropes a day to the end of the month.
Woo.
You say
Yeah,
you are?
yeah. I'm on day 6.
I say,
Mm,
yeah. See?
1,000 a day. You
Yeah,
got to
man.
count. So,
I
hey,
got a
that's
jump rope too. I got a jump rope in my storage. I got to pull that joint out. That's a
I got
that's a good workout, man. That's really a
yeah,
good
yeah.
workout.
Probably the best cardio, one of the best cardios right there.
Yeah,
that
they
and
say
swimming.
swimming is probably the best.
That and swimming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's having them accountability partners, Ty. You know how that Atomic Habit book was. It's telling you to have a
Mhm.
accountability partner. So that's just what we're here for.
yeah, yeah. Definitely. I'm gonna have to pull that. I'm gonna have to pull that jump rope out. You know.
Well, hey, that's what we do at the Bro Foundation, man. We get busy.
Sir, yes, sir. You
Get
know
busy.
when you got it said when you got that glow like show enough.
Yeah.
You know. Got that. You gotta get that glow. You know. That's just what it is.
Show
You
up,
know.
baby.
For real. But yeah, man, this week we gonna jump right in, man. So this week, we're gonna talk about, there's a lot of talk. There's been a lot of talk, over the past, I guess you would say it's become more prevalent in the past, I guess you say a few years or what have you. Everybody talking about their alpha male, pounding their chest, you know what I'm saying? Alpha male this, but really it's like, what does that really mean? You know what I mean? Also, the beta male thing has come up, and also in recent times is sigma male. So really, it's like what does it really mean, right? Um, I've always kind of felt like yeah, I go by King, so I go by King Tyrus, but that's because my name truly means it actually means that. You know what I mean? That's part of that's really what Tyrus means. It means ruler, not necessarily ruler, per se, but like I said, it's that type of name. But it's like so. But saying that, anytime a person has to say what they are, it's like okay, are you true? Are you just trying to boast yourself up, or do you truly represent that? You know, um, but yeah, like I said, so there's been talk recent, over the past X amount of years about saying I'm alpha male, I'm this, I'm that, but we gonna break down what the difference is. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it negative? Is it positive? Is it important? Is it needed? You know what I mean? Like that's what we want to talk about. Um, because I feel like it gets misconstrued a lot of times. People, I said, will say that they're alpha, but you don't really. What are the alpha qualities that you possess? You know, um, people be called beta, but what does it mean to be a beta? So I feel like it's good that we just dive into what it truly means. I mean, so first, I guess we can kind of get into what we feel it means. Each one of our own personal opinions, and then there was a couple of videos that I wanted to kind of play that kind of speaks to it. So yeah, you know, when it comes to alpha male and beta male, what do those titles mean to y'all?
Being an alpha, you know, and it's crazy because before we even started discussing this, I used to look online a lot, and like you'll see like the alpha shirts, and people have like alpha male. Are you an alpha male? And I never really took the time to like go check it out and see what it really means. I just automatically thought it was like, oh shit, that's cool. It represents bravery. You're a warrior. You know what I'm saying? You're a product of something, and you're just this dominant man, you know what I mean? And it seems so electrifying to where it makes it cool and you want to be a part of it, you know? So that was something that I was looking into, because I was like, I used to always walk around and calling myself that. Like, man, I'm an alpha male. I'm an alpha male. You know, I'm the man, you know, and it gives you that spark as a man. And you know what a man is all about, ego at times. And it's like, you know, alpha male just brought that true definition of a male to me, in my opinion, at the time, you know. So, and whenever Ty, when you thought of this subject, it made me went research, and you know, I had to go define it, and I'm kind of nowhere near that definition of that, you know what I mean, of a person, because my first of all, my what's the word? My damn, I lost train of thought. Um my whole self, my being,
Like your
the
demeanor?
person that I am, huh?
Like your demeanor?
My demeanor. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. My demeanor don't fit that title, you know. And when I looked at some of these videos, when they was describing it, it was almost like arrogance, a little bit of cockiness, and I don't have those traits, you know. So I was like, okay, well, I kind of exit that out a little bit, and I'm like, what what defines me, you know? So yeah, but that was my definition of that. Like the alpha is more like dominance. It's like almost, and when I think of like an alpha, I almost think like a strong animal, like a lion or a gorilla or some shit that represents that power, that shit that we all stroke to be as far as being a man. And that's what we always try to like classify as ourselves at. But you have to be real with yourself and know where you fall in as a man. You get what I'm saying? So there's nothing wrong with none of the rest of the titles. If you do classify inside of that, you just got to be real about who you are as a man, as a person. So a title like, you know, alpha really don't define who you are as a person. It's just that, you know, we all just want to be a part of something. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh shit, you know, there's a bunch of alpha males over there. You know, so what is that? So that's why I'm glad we have these conversations, because I learned about what I am and what I'm not. You know, and I'll discuss that a little bit later. But yeah, I wanted to pass it on to you guys, man. I'm eager to see what y'all got to say.
That's real.
Corey, which one, please?
I mean, for me, I had to do some searching as well. Just what a alpha is, what a beta is, and we haven't touched on the rest of them, but what a gamma is, what a sigma is, and all these things. And it's like you thinking of a fraternity, right? Most people probably thinking like, oh, you know, I was going to join the frat, and I was going to join woo woo, and I was going to do this, and I was going to do that. That was my first introduction to it, because I always thought I was an alpha. You know, when I was gonna go pledge, I was gonna go to HBCU. My whole game plan as a kid was to go to HBCU and pledge, and you know, play ball. But you know, like y'all said, once we started to actually become ourselves and step into our own space and our own creativity, I started to learn what that means, what it means to me, how does it apply to me, if it applies to me, and what the rest of them means and which ones apply to me. And again, I fall under a different category, but I'm just like Jesse. I was also looking at myself as this alpha person. And that's not to say I'm not an alpha. I have the characteristics, but I don't fall into that category. And even now, it's just like it's just basically separating you from your characteristics. And I feel like with all of them, they all play a role in this world. They all have a job to do to balance out the man that's on this earth. You know what I mean? Just because when we was born on that day at that time for a specific reason. You know what I'm saying? Your job when you was born to be who you was, whether that be an alpha, sigma, beta, gamma, whatever it was, you had a purpose in that. So once you attach to that understanding and then you apply all these type of traits and now you look at, okay, how can I be good and what I need to work on? It starts to help you understand what it all even means to begin with. So for me, I appreciate the understanding now, like, okay, that's what alpha is, that's what a beta is, that's what a gamma is, that's what a sigma is. But what does it do for me? And unfortunately, like y'all said, like in this world we live in, titles mean things to people, but what do they mean to you? And I'll just leave it there.
Absolutely. This this topic itself was not anywhere on my radar. Like, I guess I've already heard it said that, if you gotta ask or you gotta tell people what you are, more likely you don't fit that category. But, doing due diligence, I actually read and studied up on this a little bit, and it not only gave me substance for this particular conversation, but it kind of shows me my characteristics that I can see from as far back as a kid coming up to this point, as far as where I fit in. I think the alpha male thing is just something that's been so romanticized. Everybody wants to be that number one. It got to be one. You could have a room full of bad people, but it got to be one bad one in that group. And we all seek to be that one. We all want to be that one that when the chips are down, that everybody's going to come and run to because they know you're here to save the day. But after reading over that, that I, as far as the alpha male is concerned, I fit those characteristics only because that's what they paid me to do. but but in my true nature, I don't fit those categories. I do know people that genuinely fall in that, and they may not call themselves that, but that's how they move, and that's how they move, and they operate on a constant. So that's them. But I can see people all around that fits all those, and I guess the overarching conversation of it is understanding what's what, not because of you want to compare yourself to your comrades, but it's more or less when we have conversations and say, well, us as men, you need community. You need brothers that you can rely on, you can talk to, and express your feelings and emotions, and just go through life with. You have all these different characteristics within your tribe. You're gonna have different people that you can come to and talk to about different things and move on different things. I might get ask Jesse to come help me build something because that's what he does, and he's very confident in being helping and support. I might have a problem where, like, I'm trying to get back in the gym and I'm struggling, and I might rely on Corey because that's his strong point. All I got to do is just follow him. I come to tirelessly or say if me and my wife having issues, and I could talk with him. So everybody in your community is gonna have different characteristics, and they all gonna fit together as a puzzle. And that's how you make your entire community as men. You're gonna have a group of people that you can rely on. It's just a matter of knowing what characteristics are being displayed by, or rather, what type personality these characteristics fit for, and how they fit in your life. This puzzle that we have.
That's real.
Man, it's it's all. I look at it like, when you looking at, let's say, what it means to be alpha male, so to speak, or whatever. This we can start there. I might have some traits, you know what I'm saying, but I've never been the one to need all the attention, the one who has to be, the top dog, so to speak, and I've spoken on it before to where it's like, you're just like I said at the top of the show, if you gotta say what you are all the time, then you probably aren't that. You know, just like you said too, Henry. But like I said, it's about the traits. You know, what traits do you, and you, like you said, when you go back, you can go back to when, you know, as a young child growing up, you know, you can look at yourself and know, okay, man, yeah, I've always been this kind of way, you know. So yeah, I think that's just what it's about, man. You know, people, it has a part to do with ego in a sense, you know, of wanting to be the alpha. You know, if you feel like you want to be the alpha, you gotta be the alpha. Everybody, all the attention has to, you know, center around you. You gotta, you know, just that energy sometimes can be about the ego. But with me per se, I said I've never felt like I was the alpha. But I don't think there's a problem with that. I think, you know, you have to know who you are. You know, I remember there was one time I was kicking with a few of my, you know, my boys was kicking it one day, and one of the homies is like, yeah, I'll let you be the alpha when you're here, or something like that. I was like, that don't even sound right. You know what I mean? Like, if you so to speak, if you're quote unquote an alpha, you gonna let another man take over alpha the alpha title? So you know what I mean? Like, it's like, so it just didn't really. It's just like, okay, what does that even really mean? You know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's just really about understanding. Like I said, I think we've all said it, understanding who you are as a man, what traits, what characteristic traits that you have. And if you are that, then that's cool. That's you. You know what I mean? But if you're not, then it's okay, and it's cool to accept that you're not, because not everybody needs to be alpha. We have to have that balance. And it's like what you said, Henry, too. It's like we have to have that balance in a sense of different personalities. You know, you can't have everybody can't be, you know, it's like the whole saying, too many Indians, or too many chiefs, not enough Indians. You know, like that's what that phrase means. I mean, when everybody's trying to you know, be combative, and you know, nobody wants to, in a sense, step back or play their position that they're supposed to be playing, then that's where the problem lies, man. So you got to understand who you are as a man, as a person. You're not going to be the alpha. You know, you don't have to be the alpha, but at the same time, you don't have to be a beta either. You don't have to be a sigma. You know what I mean? Like, there's, like Corey just broke down, there's a few different titles, so to speak. And like you said as well, we are, in a sense, title driven when it comes to this country. You know what I mean? People love to put titles on everything. You don't need a title for everything. Just be. You know what I mean? Like, just be who you are. Don't worry about a title. Let your energy speak for itself, because the people will respond to that energy. Whatever energy, whoever you are, the people will respond accordingly. And however they respond is what you have to, in a sense, okay, realize, okay, that's who I am. That's what league I'm in. You feel me? So I think it's definitely important to just basically say, understand who you are as a man, know what traits that you represent, and go from there. I'm gonna play a video real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna play a video real quick, and we can kind of discuss what the video says. So this dude right here pretty much is the one who broke down. He's the one who started the whole idea of alpha male.
You got the sound on or it's off?
Can you hear it?
I don't.
No, I can't hear it either.
Let me see. Can
Yeah,
you
I
hear
can
it?
see it going on, but I can't hear nothing.
You can't hear nothing?
No, I can just read it and see a screen. I don't hear nothing though.
Yeah, hold on. Hold on 1 second.
But it's good though, because it gives us time to reflect and to understand, like, this is giving y'all that real time experience. Like we really be giving y'all real time
Yeah.
understand where we at. And while Todd pull up this video, whoever's watching, think to yourself, write it down, look up which one of these things, like I said, alpha, beta, gamma, sigma, omega. Again, you thinking about a fraternity, but in the meanwhile, like think about it. Where do you fall in at? And if you haven't realized that at whatever age that you are, what can now be done to now, enhance that perspective that you gain and then now use that to your advantage? Because we all know that we move a certain way, but a lot of times we don't know the why. And as long as we don't know the why, then every time we make a move, it's just kind of like whatever. Like we just doing it, blindly. Sometimes it's better to know what you're doing and why you're doing it, and especially when it's about self. So if you and yourself is the one living in the body that you're living in, and you got to walk 10 toes every day, it's best to be to be on point with your star player. Your star player is the person that lives within self. You know what I mean? When you have these thoughts, these subconscious thoughts that then become conscious, that's for a reason. You done created so many different habits throughout your life that now has become reality. However, again, this is what happens when you are born on a certain day at a certain time of the day, and then what has now became of that. That's where we get, again, of course, a person created the titles, but those titles align with who we are individually, because again, the universe is a whole. God is a whole thing. It's an entity, it's a person, however you want to look at it, but we are all living creatures, but we have souls, and these souls are intertwined with what's going around in this universe. So once you tap into the alpha, the beta, the omega, the gamma, and the sigma, hit our comments. Let us know what you think you is, and write down why, even on your personal self. Look up, how that resonates with your family, how that correlates in your relationship. Because again, we're doing this to give information, to give insight, to help all of us learn who we are, why we are the way we are. And again, it's June is Men's Mental Health Month. Why not understand what you're going through right now at a more, higher level? So we just hear profound brothers having conversations for everybody around the nation, and that's what we're here for.
Can you still can't hear it?
Nah, I can't hear nothing.
Let me see.
But what's playing just now?
You heard it playing?
Yeah.
He can be a very nasty guy. That is actually irrelevant. If he's at the top, he's the alpha male.
Okay, let me rewind it real quick, a little bit.
Social behavior. I'm a primatologist and a biologist, and I'm the author of the book Different: Gender Through the Eyes of a Primatologist. I've been working with primates, I think, about 50 years, mostly with chimpanzees, with bonobos. But most of my work is on social behavior. The term alpha male came originally from wolf research, and it just referred, I think, to the highest ranking male wolf. But to apply the term as the people do today, people usually with an alpha male, they mean a bully, someone who beats you over the head and lets you know every day that he's the boss. I'm partly responsible for that, because I wrote this book, Chimpanzee Politics, and used the term alpha male quite frequently. And then the Republicans in Washington, they picked up on the book. It reached also the business community, who started producing books of how to become the alpha male of the company and let everyone know that you're boss and stuff like that. I feel very conflicted, because the term alpha male for me is not a negative term. People always think the alpha male is a sort of personality. No, the alpha male is just the top male, and he can be a very nice guy or he can be a very nasty guy. That is actually irrelevant. If he's at the top, he's the alpha male. And I think people overestimate male dominance, mainly because they think purely in physical terms, but primate societies are political systems, and physical power is only one part of the whole equation.
So yeah, he's just breaking down like
People
how it all
don't
started.
realize that the alpha male chimpanzees, for example, you have to have supporters. You cannot do that on your own. It means that a high-ranking female can have an enormous amount of power, because if she can rally all the other females behind a certain male, she has all the power there. And then in addition, you have bonobos who are very close to us too, equally close as the chimpanzee, where the alpha individual is a female. And most of these differences between the sexes are actually smaller than we think. We sort of, in our mind, we blow them up, but they're actually, if you measure them, they're not so great. Robert Martin is an anthropologist who said that the difference between the sexes is a bimodal difference. What he means there is that the differences are statistical and that there's a lot of exceptions to them. For example, Donna is a chimpanzee that I've known since she was 3, so very little. And already at that age, she was different from the rest. She was a female, clearly, but she liked to wrestle. Then when she grew older, when she became adolescent, she grew big shoulders, a lot of big hair, a big head. She started to look like a male. And she associated with the males, she hung out with them. So that's one individual, and I've known quite a few individuals, also among the males, who don't exactly act like males, or females who don't act like females. And so individual variability is basically the material of evolution. And that diversity, I think that's the same sort of diversity that we see in human society. Sex is biological sex, defined by genitals, hormones, chromosomes. Gender is much more flexible. Gender is more masculine, feminine, and everything in between. And is, of course, very much a cultural construct in the sense that social norms make how you have to behave as a male or how you have to behave as a female. And those are the gender definitions, and they change with time, they change with society. So we have all that variability. And in the other primates, I've never seen that that's a problem. So that's something where we could learn something from them, is that they take an individual as like Donna as she is. They're not making a big fuss about it because they're much less normative than we are and much less ideological, of course, than we are. And so I've never seen that these individuals who deviate a little bit from the common patterns, that they get into trouble over that. Many people consider empathy as the core of human morality. You cannot have an interest in other people and wanting to help them if you don't have empathy for them. And so empathy is the glue of our society, and our moral systems would be basically impossible, I think, if we had no empathy. I'm not saying that chimps and bonobos are moral beings the way we are, but they clearly have that capacity of being interested in the state of somebody else. I think a leader needs to pay attention to the group dynamics, make sure that everyone has a voice in the group, and that you, like alpha male chimpanzees, that you protect the underdog against potential violence or potential abuse. I think humans are psychologically exactly like the apes. So socially and emotionally, we are like apes. We are intellectually more developed. We have language, of course. We are technologically more developed. But many of the basics of our social relationships, both in terms of the hierarchies that we have, the friendships, the attachments, in all of these ways, we are very close to the primates. We're very similar to them. And so certainly in that area, the apes can tell us something about us because there's basically no distinction.
So hold on. Let me see here. Go back. I gotta figure out how to get back to. Yeah, I still ain't figured out this whole
Work in progress.
try to test our moral intuitions. And they're called the trolley problem, or perhaps also the screaming baby problem. The trolley problem goes like this.
Okay. So yeah, so basically he just broke down, you know, but basically where the whole idea of beta male came from. I mean, from where alpha male came from. You know, he, like I said, it started from the pack of wolves or the pack of chimpanzees. You know what I mean? Like, just in the animalistic sense. You know, but it's, and then we as the people kind of took it and ran with it. You know, like you said, it got to different businesses, and you know, they like I said, they took it and ran with the whole idea of what alpha male is. And so just as you broke down, you know, we the idea of an alpha male should be the one who is taking care of the ones who can't take care of themselves. You know, the one who is, in a sense, putting themselves last, not necessarily last, but you know, making sure the people are taken care of, and then not, you know, basically make sure the family eats first, and then I can eat. You know, it's not about being, you know, pound your chest type, you know, type of energy. It's about taking care of your people. You know, and so from what you guys heard, what were you able to grasp from what he was talking about?
I know for me, man, minute. Y'all hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sound a little echo. The minute I seen this, it just make me think of the Planet of the Apes and how, you know, they done made many different versions of the movie, but we all know the main character in the movie is Caesar. Caesar ain't the biggest ape, but he is the smartest.
Exactly.
You feel me? He not the biggest, he not the strongest, but he is the. And in the life that we live in, a lot of the smart people are in that top, you know, 10%. And when I mean 10%, meaning like one smart person who made a good business deal, we can say, you know, we ain't gonna use his name on this platform, but let's just say Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, anybody like that. They smart, man. Money that they make, they probably can give $1 to everybody on the world. So I feel like those are typically our leaders. Now, where the rest of us would fall into place if they are an alpha or not, I don't know. But now, yeah, we know who Elon Musk is, Mark Zuckerberg. We know who Bill Gates is. We know who Warren Buffett is. We know all these people, but they got a lot of smarter people that's working for them because they were smart enough to know I need to hire smarter people to get this, to get that done. And then that's where you break down the rest of the categories and again figure out where you fall into place because we all got a purpose. But I mean, I can see the comparison. I understand how, you know, when you're looking at monkeys and they even say we come from monkeys, that's another conversation. But I will give it to monkeys and chimpanzees and apes and all those things. They are very, very intelligent. So the movie Planet of the Apes, I mean, a lot of it ain't false. A lot of what we watching, they trying to give us an understanding of this is how these animals think. They may not be able to verbally say all of what we saying in this movie, but they are very intelligent. So are we. So who are you? Are you Caesar? Are you Koba? I mean, if you watch the movie, are you Caesar? Are you Koba? Are you a Mufasa? Are you a Simba? Are you a Scar? Like, what part do you play in this animal kingdom? And that's what I took out of it.
Yeah.
Man, one of the main things that I took out of it, man, is the power of research. And the power of research can go so far, man, because just like I said in the beginning, it was like you could be calling yourself something that you don't even know about if you haven't done the research about it, you know, and just look at what the true definition of what you're saying that you are. You know, I remember I was working at this other place that I was working at, and this guy, and they used to have this Spanish song come on, man, and I used to love that song, bro. And I would learn the words, and I was singing it, and the dude, he came up to me, one of the Spanish guys, he was like, "Man, you know what you talk?" I was like, "No." I said, "But it sounds good. It looks good." He was like, "Man, you talking about murdering people, man, and it got all kind of stuff going." I said, "Whoa!" So I didn't know because I didn't know the research. I didn't know the background of the song. I didn't know the artist. I just was going along with what I heard or what I saw. And that's what got me, because like I never even seen this video before until tonight. And it just brought a lot of light, man, because it was like the definition of alpha really wasn't pertaining to what we think that it is. You know what I mean? It's like you said, Ty, like that person is taking care of the family and kind of like bagging up. It's not about me per se. I'm behind the scenes type of thing. And they doing it out from their heart. It's not from being seen or anything. So that brought a lot of light to me, man, because it's like I have to, anything that I'm going to engage in from now on, I want to know the research. I'm gonna go do my due diligence to research it and see what the hell I'm getting myself into. You know, because you got to know that. You know, so yeah, that's what I gathered from it.
Yes, sir.
And it just kind of further backs up parts of my personality. I'm a people watcher. I'm quiet by nature and I'm observant. And as far as that is concerned, that's just somebody that just studied for a long time and just broke down. And I guess pretty much any pack animal, you're going to have that hierarchy. You're not going to have two top tier males, adult males at that, within one family construct or in one pack. There's only going to be one. Like, all honesty, once the cubs or baby chimps or whatever it may be, once they get to a certain age, they got to get there alone or they're going to die. Because keeping them around, even though that's his blood, they pose a risk to his kingdom. There can only be one. And we all like to think that we that one. We are the top tier. Everything else below us feeds off of us and thrives off us. But in all honesty, it's nothing could be further from the truth. A lot of people who claim themselves as such don't know what it takes to be an alpha, let alone have the capacity to walk in those shoes. Now, with that being said, I think everybody kind of can do themselves due diligence and, just read into this a little bit, study. If at the very least you come out with a better understanding of yourself and why you make some of the decisions you do and why you move in certain ways that you do, as opposed to people around you. Because those people may actually fit better in those shoes, maybe not. But right now, everybody thinks the alpha is the top tier, where in all honesty, every particular personality has a place. They have a purpose and they have a place. And there's nothing wrong with any of them. Even though I guess beta would be considered the lower level of it, you could still be a very masculine beta. Because of the characteristics of that, you may be more of a caring, nurturing person that no way has any kind of slight towards your manhood. That's just what your personality dictates. And you just, it's just you getting to know yourself and be able to move within your being, your person a little better. You have a little more context to why you do the things that you do.
And to kind of add to all that as well, I feel like it's all depending on the environment, right? It all depends on what environment you're particularly in. You could be a beta in something that you aren't well versed in, but you can be the alpha in something that you know a lot about, and vice versa. That alpha who is typically, I guess you would say, like I said, the leader and just the one who, center of attention, know it all. But if you put him in a environment where they know nothing about what's going on, he in a sense becomes the beta because he's not in his natural, quote unquote, natural habitat. I mean, he's learning. He has to learn from like I said, where he is. I mean, you could say if say you want to so like an example in a sense, you want to be, if he's typically good at and great at sports, of course he's going to be the alpha in that arena. But if you put him when it comes to, let's say, math or or something like, you know, engineering or something like that, that he knows nothing about, he ain't gonna be so braggadocious. He's not gonna be so, you know, confident. Like and it's all good. You're gonna be able to feel it. You're gonna be able to see it because it's going to translate. You know what I mean? Like you're going to be in an area where you're not good at what's going on, if as far as what's going on around you. So you can't be that, you know, look at me, or but if you do, it's going to be to just so you don't feel quote unquote stupid. You know, to 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 change up the dynamics to where you can make yourself look better when you know you don't know nothing about what's going on. You know what I mean? It's like, so it's all about the environment. It's all about, like I said, you put a quote unquote beta male in an area where they're well versed at, and they're gonna be the dominant. They're gonna be the one who you're gonna have to go to, that alpha male is gonna have to go to, you know, to ask questions and get answers from, you know, and vice versa. You know, so it's really all about, the environment that you're in. I feel like we all can have those traits depending on, you know, because confidence is the underlying factor here. You know, confidence is what it comes down to. You might not have confidence in every area that you're in, and if you do, then that's great. But not everybody has that. You know, if you can, it's important to be able to humble yourself, so to speak, knowing that, okay, yeah, I'm not the greatest in this, you know, particular setting. So let me I need to be willing to ask those questions and, you know, get more information. To me, that speaks alpha, as opposed to, oh, this is stupid, you know, like basically being extremely dismissive. No, I feel like that's a part of being alpha in a sense. Is like, you know what, I know this isn't my what I'm used to doing, but let me ask some questions. Let me, you know, be confident enough to say, hey, I don't know this. Let me ask you this. You know, so you got to be willing to do that. And if you can't, then that speaks to a whole different dynamic, right, in and of itself. Because if you can't help yourself in a situation where you know that, okay, yeah, I have no idea what's going on here, and you know, and you try to spin it to where you know, to where you don't internally feel out of place. Nah, man, just humble yourself. Hey, man, you know, hey, I'm gonna ask you some questions. You know what I mean? Like, how do you do this? How you do that? How you do that? That speaks to being a person of the people, because you know that you're not great at that. So why shy away from that? If I know if I'm not good at something, I'm not gonna shy away from that and make myself look better than I know I am, because I want to learn. I want to, you know, I want to become better. So like I said, I just feel it has a huge deal to, as far as like whatever environment that you're in, to allow yourself to say, hey, let me get some more information on this, because that just makes you the man that you know that you should be, in a sense. Not necessarily that you should be, but just a matter of, you allow yourself to receive that information that you need, as opposed to, like I said, turning around and making yourself the center of attention, and because you feel dumb internally. Nah, just say, hey, you know what? Let me ask you some stuff so I can be better versed about this, and learn more about this. So, um, yeah. And then,
Go ahead, Ty. You about to say something?
go ahead.
So I got a question then. Have y'all looked at the other um, male types and found a distinguishing? Ty, I think you said before, but let them speak. You know, let them know, at least the people who watching and those who will watch. I guess, where do y'all feel like y'all fall in, and why? If y'all know. If y'all don't, you know, it is what it is. But if y'all do, where y'all feel like y'all fall in at? Because for me, I'll go first. After reading, like I said, it's alpha. beta, it's omega, gamma, sigma. Literally sounds like the fraternities.
Mm-hmm.
Like we all start off. Being an alpha was probably what we seen on TV. It was seen from other people and just being macho. Yeah, that's not really what it is. I know for sure I fall under the sigma category because I don't recall to be the center of attention. I have a very strategic mindset, and this is why I was saying earlier, when we were born helps us align with who we are. And I'm a Scorpio. I don't know if we talked about this before. We ain't really go into the whole zodiac thing yet. That could be a conversation. But being a Scorpio and being a male Scorpio, I have to analyze who I am. I'm slow to anger. I know how to control a room. I'm very calm and cool and collective. But on the other side of that, I can be vengeful. I can be very mysterious, which then comes off as private or sneaky. You know what I mean? But from a male perspective, when I'm interacting with other men, I'm sitting back. I'm observing the room, kind of like what you just said, Henry. But I'm also knowing, like, hey, I'm smart enough to know I don't know everything, but I know enough. I'm also smart enough to know that I am who I am, regardless who in this room. I don't need to say it. I don't need to showcase it. When it's my turn to speak, when that chance comes up, you gonna know and you gonna feel it. And I can honestly say, when I walk into a room, you can feel the energy. You can feel the shift. Even once you start talking and having a conversation, the conversation I would have won't typically be what these people in my past have talked about it. And rightfully so, like you all said, that is okay. But for me, I have to understand who I am and why I am who I am. Being a Sigma, like I said, I could be vengeful. I can hold a grudge. I could maybe forgive you, but if I'm not as, centered with myself, I'm gonna remember what you did for sure, but I'm not gonna ever forget it. And I may forgive you. I may forgive you, but I will never forget. And then again, on the opposite side of that, where it's considered negative, when done wrong, I become real, like a spy agent. Like I'm plotting on my attack to you for days at a time. And one thing I feel like as a Sigma, I will be good at, which I've never learned how, and don't laugh at me, is playing chess. Because most Sigmas or most people who know how to play the game, they know like you have to make your next move your best move. But that type of mindset is a very strategic mindset. And then that's part of being a Sigma. So I say all that to say, I know I fall under the Sigma category. I used to think I was alpha. I have alpha traits, but I'm not at all an alpha. But what y'all think?
I think what you were saying, like there are alpha traits when it comes to Sigma. Like I didn't really delve too deep into all of them, but I like once I started hearing more about what this, because I feel like I do fall more into that Sigma category as well. But just like, um, not needing and I sent the video to the group chat. I want you guys to check it out. It kind of breaks down the 7 differences between Sigma and Alpha. But yeah, it's like I don't necessarily have to command the attention of the room. It's going to naturally gravitate towards me because of just my energy and the way I carry myself. You know, um, I'm strategic, like you said. I'm strategic about the things that I do. Like I can lead from not necessarily in the back, but I don't have to. I don't have to be front and center. I don't necessarily have to have take the credit for everything. You know what I mean? Like I could accept my wins without everybody knowing. That kind of thing. Um, and just being successful, just being steadfast. Like I said, it's just really about. Like I said, I have alpha traits. I have the main thing about the Sigma is that it's like a mixture of innocence. I feel like it's a mixture of all of them. I gotta get deeper into the other traits, but when it comes to beta, alpha, and sigma, like I feel like there's some traits that you can consider to be beta, and I might not speak up on everything that needs to be spoke up on, but that's just real life. You know what I mean? You don't need to speak up on everything everything doesn't deserve your energy. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to say something about every damn thing because that's wasting your energy. That's wasting your time. Um, So yeah, that's why I definitely agree, and I feel like I fall into that category. There was one other video I wanted to get to, but I want you guys to kind of speak on how you, where you, if you guys feel that you know fall in that into those.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna be transparent a little more, a little bit, and I would say I was a beta growing into a sigma, simply because I was that person um, when I was younger too, especially. You know, I come from a background, we ran from problems. You know, situations, you just deal with them and it's like, I'm out of here. I don't even want to deal with it. I'm done with it. I'll block you. Um, Instead of facing certain things by the coattail, it was like almost like, I ain't never been, I ain't trying to say you scared or anything, but it just was a fact of just, I didn't want to deal with it, you know? So, a lot of, and when I watched a lot of the videos, it's like certain traits that you can have it and don't even know it. And you automatically thinking that you something else that you're not, right? So one of the things that stuck out to me, one of the videos, it was saying about, um, you know, like looking at your alarm clock, and when the alarm clock goes off and you thinking to yourself, oh, here I am about to go to this dead end job, instead of like speaking life into like, hey, I'm about to, you know, I'm about to get it until my blessing come or whatever come, you know what I'm saying? It's like you thinking about what you about to go through, you know? And I thought that was interesting because I was like, damn, I didn't know that I fell in that category, because 90% of the time, that's how I'm feeling when I'm waking up, going to my job, you know? So it was a reflection, bro. It was like a, okay, you know, like, but I did fall into a lot of the categories of the Sigma too, as well, as far as like, you know, I don't need confirmation from people. I don't need people to tell me, like, if I have an idea, like, I'm going for it. Like, I jump in that water, I do it, I do what I want, you know. And it's like, I was like, okay, well, I have those characteristics as well. So for me to personally say, you know, like you said earlier, Ty, like, everybody, you might have characteristics of a beta and don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean that you totally weak, or it's you not this, you not that, you're not macho. But that's all about how you perceive it, man. And it's all about perception on how you look at things, man. And it's like, okay, I'm this person, but I'm growing into, that's why I said I was this person, but I'm growing into this person, because that's the person that I see that I can be myself about. And one more thing that I thought that was interesting too, when they was talking about you know, like allowing people to kill your dreams. And you know, allowing people to, like, you know, if you're like, I used to have like all these ideas and have these ideas, but you tell them to the wrong people, it can kind of shun you away from doing what you need to do. And that might be your break. That might be something that you need to do, or your purpose, or whatever. How many times that we allow people to, you know, take that from us, you know what I'm saying, for something that, you know, God, the universe, gave to you in the first place. So that's stuff that you have to, you like, learn, and you got to be real with yourself. It's like self-reflection and saying, hey, this is who I am, you know, and this is who I can grow into, because you don't have to stay in none of those categories. You feel what I'm saying?
That
You
part.
don't have to stay in that category. You can always, we always growing, and we learning. And like tonight, this whole week, this topic, man, I even told my wife, I said, man, I can't wait for this session tonight, because I'm like, man, this is deep, man. You know, because it's something that you don't think about on a normal, because we automatically think that we born alpha males. Automatically. That's just a given. You feel what I'm saying? Because that's just who we are as men. And it's just like, oh, you know, I'm that dude, you know? And there's nothing wrong with feeling that way. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. But you can be that dude in different categories too as well. And that's all I'm saying. So
100
Sure.
boy, dropping them.
Sure.
Um, and not to reiterate the, you know, the ongoing statement of, well, you know, actually I kind of picture myself as being the alpha, but after I started reading, you know, and studying into that, Like, no, much so like everybody else here, I see a lot of my characteristics, I would fall into that signal. My entire life, I've always kind of walked to the beat of my own drum. Whenever the crowd went one way, most time enough, I went the other direction, other than no other reason than just because that's what they doing. See, I think high school, everybody was going taking Spanish. I took French. I can't speak jack of French. I flunked that 2 years in a row, but I was determined I wasn't going to take Spanish. I played basketball. I tried out for the basketball team, and they went around, what do you want to be? You want to be? It was me and one other dude was tallest in the group. I said forward, and the whole gym started laughing. I'm like, what y'all laughing at? Because just because I'm tall, I did not want to be the center. I can do anything else. I think in high school, one of the football coaches, he's a pretty jack dude. Like, he looked like he might have just stepped out of the NFL. And he had a way of intimidating kids into playing, like grabbing, hey, you can play football. He did the same thing to me. I was like, nah. Oh, and I guess a little bit of context with that. I'm not easily intimidated. I took up martial arts at a very young age. And about midway through high school, I actually did a little bit of amateur fighting. But because of my height and my size, I wasn't fighting the kids. I was fighting grown men. And I was giving it to them just like they were giving it to me. So as a grown man, you can't intimidate me. So I didn't play football when everything about me said that's where I need to be. Didn't do. Careers, so many different things throughout my life I see where I just went a totally different direction from everybody else. If for no other reason than it wasn't a challenge of anybody else around me doing it, just kind of more so a challenge of seeing if I could do it. Hell, I'm halfway across the country right now. Me and my family out on an island to ourselves. Nearest relatives 8 hours away. So if something goes wrong, man, it's a hard way to go. Everything is dependent upon me, and I'm proving to myself that I can do this. I can move out here. I can basically start my life all the way over. Those characteristics don't necessarily fall in the wheelhouse of alpha, because for alpha to remain that way, he kind of has a little bit of an ego to himself, and he's going to protect that ego. So he's not going to venture out in deep water to see if he can swim. He's real good right here in the shallow end, because that's where he's comfortable at. He can constantly move and do everything he do, and his stature will remain intact. That's just never been me. Everything that I've done, I've always went my own way. My scales are very much balanced, where for as compassionate as I can be, it can go the other way. And I find the older I'm getting, it's a shorter wall in between the two. It can really go from 100 to 0 real quick, or 0 to 100. But I just really see where I fit that more so throughout my life. As far as anytime that I operated at alpha state, it was more so, like I said earlier, as they were paying me. Because as being in maintenance and then being a supervisor, if it hits the fan, I'm the guy that got to go clean it off. Even the people, the other mechanics that are working under me, if they run into a problem, I'm expected to know how to do whatever. So in that particular instance, I had to be the center of attention. And again, being my height and size, that's the last thing I've ever wanted my entire life. I've always tried to stay away from being the center of attention, but to say it's difficult is an understatement.
Ain't too many 6'9" cats, man. That can hide. You know what I mean?
No.
You had to duck walk into the door. Come on now, Henry. You wasn't hiding from nobody.
Real talk, most doors I can stand in the doorway, and if I stand up straight, I can touch my head on the bottom of the threshold.
That's like that one. That's like that one cat. I think he's on TikTok and YouTube, but he's a real tall brother. He be like walking, like they tell him people don't believe how tall he is, and he'll be talking and he'll stop at the door thing, and then he'll duck under, and then he'll keep going, and he'll go to. They were like, go to the store. You want to see what you look like in the store, and so he's like, man, this is what I look like in the store. This is what y'all look like. This is what I look like. He's like, I can literally reach over the top of the other side of the shelf and get something. You know what I mean? So,
Anytime from Thanksgiving to about December 23rd, 24th, I hate going to a store. Hate it.
Can you get this for me, sir?
Dude, I'm telling you. And it all it takes is one person to do it. And they'll damn near line up. Could you come over here for a second? I know you're in a rush, but it's just man, I go in the store for one thing and spend a damn near hour in there.
Hey, I ain't even. I know the feeling, but
man,
hey,
me too. Shoot, you know,
I don't. I
I'm
don't.
6'2", but you know what I'm saying. Like I get it all the time. So can you reach that for me? No problem. I got you. I take care of you. But I know in
Turn
here,
around, grab something, and look back around. Hell, you got on the vest. You work here.
hey, you probably done got that back of your back turned around and look like I don't see nobody. You gotta look down like,
yeah, that's crazy.
Next time I'm gonna fill an application. But I'm sorry to get off on a tangent.
no, it's all good.
Nah,
That's
that's real. Yeah, man. Like it's crazy how if you think about it, the way that we kind of, I mean, as they say, man, you meet people on your energy level. So the fact that I know we feel like we all kind of fit in that stigma category speaks volumes to why we, you know what I'm saying, in a sense connected. Because we kind of have that, we on that same wavelength of how we move and just the way that we are as people, you know. I think that kind of really speaks volumes. There was, like I said, there was one other video I wanted to get to. It's a little couple minutes. Yeah, so let me see something real quick. It's how do I get to this, man?
You see a
Hold on, let me see. Actually, full screen. Here we go. Okay, so let's see. Here we go. Much later. Let's see, what was it? Let's see. I think it's this one. This one is, I think, yeah.
It may be helpful to think about masculinity by asking yourself, what is an alpha male?
Talks kind of fast. Are you guys able to hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay, let me see. Let me see if I can slow it down a little bit because he was kind of talking fast. Here we go. Here we go. Okay.
What is the hyper example of masculinity? And I think when you look at that definition, whatever it is for yourself, then you will realize what you aspire to be and how you can be your most masculine. In my value system, an alpha male is like that gorilla who, when crossing the street with the gorilla tribe, makes sure that all the women and children and smaller gorillas get across first. He blocks the road with his body as the rest of them make the crossing. An alpha male is an alpha male because he takes care of the tribe. In times of war and famine, he eats last. In exchange, in peacetime, he gets to eat first. But that's not the goal. The goal is he is built to do his duty. He is built to take care. He is built to be the protector. He is built to do the right thing for the largest group of people. And he does it because it's in his nature. He doesn't do it for recompense. So you have to look deep inside your nature and find out, what do you want to take care of? What is more important than yourself? What do you want to give to without any hope of return? Is it God? Is it children? Is it society? Is it family? Is it not your nation? What is it that you care about more than you care about yourself, that you will defend, that you will protect, that you will uphold, and that you will promote? So, for example, today I would argue that people like Elon Musk, who, even though they're businessmen and they make money, sure, they are trying to advance the tribe. They're trying to do what's best for the species. They're trying to get us off planet. They're trying to get us into electric cars. They're trying to get us advanced AI. And if it is done in a mostly selfless way, where it's about taking care of people, then I think that is an alpha male. And so that to me is masculinity. That's an expression of masculinity. It is showing that you're so strong, that your shoulders are so broad, that you can carry others with almost no effort. You can carry others as part of what you do. And the stronger you get, the more you carry. So the best way to find your masculinity is to ask yourself, what is my duty? What am I duty bound to do? What do I want to do to a level where it involves taking care of something outside of myself? And it has to be genuine, and it has to be heartfelt, and it has to be done without hope of reward or recognition. So it cannot be something that is given to you by society. It cannot be something that is inflicted upon you by books, by your parents, by movements, or by something that's going to make you popular with the people around you. In fact, if it's a true core value, it's something that you will do even if and when it makes you unpopular with the people around you. Good luck with everything, and don't listen to other people. As a footnote, one thing that's become popular recently is men who attract other men by showing off jewelry and cars and how many girls they have. They've gotten pretty big in social media, but those are essentially perverted, almost a caricature of feminine behaviors that they're doing to attract other women and to attract young men. But no true alpha cares what car they drive or how much jewelry they have or how many girlfriends they have, and they certainly don't use that as the way to signal their alpha. It signals exactly the opposite. It signals status-seeking, desperate attention-seeking behavior. So don't go down that route.
And there it is. Like everything that's it's like you said, man. It's about what are you willing to do for the people? You know, what are you willing to do for some what's the cause that's bigger than you? You know, like I said, the gorilla is the one who makes sure everybody, all of the little baby gorillas and the rest of the family gets across the street first. You know, so I like that video because it just really, to me, that's what the true definition. If you want to be real, if we want to, like I said, put a title on it. If the alpha is, if we talking about, yeah, you straight up alpha. To me, it doesn't necessarily have to be alpha, but like I said, if you're willing to put other people ahead of you for the greater good of the benefit of the people, then that speaks volumes, man. That speaks volumes to me. So, yeah.
Me ask y'all, it comes down how these roles apply to me. How do you feel like who you are and what we all, basically said we are, how does that apply in like relationships? Where have you seen, I want to dig a little deeper. Where have you seen your characteristic struggle? If you can think about it. And I guess give an example. So like, I'll be honest, I'll be transparent. I'm not the best at receiving criticism from higher ups because I have my own logic way of approaching things. I'm typically a person who, again, I analyze my decisions many steps before it even happens. So I didn't analyze what's about to happen. I analyze if I make this decision, how that's going to look, good or bad. So mentally, I'm already processing everything that I'm doing and I'm analyzing the outcome step by step. And if, I'm going to be honest with y'all and don't take this the wrong way, but if I was to ever get caught for a crime, it would be premeditated murder, not murder, because I'm not going to act off of impulse. I'm not going to act off of a reaction. I'm actually going to plan something very, very strategically and then act on it, and you won't even see it coming. But I say all that to say, in the work world, I understand, and this was a struggle in the past, that I can take constructive criticism. It's not a problem at all. However, how you say what you say to me is going to now determine what I say back. So you can be like, hey, Corey, can you go pick that up for me? Oh, I got you. Or you can be like, hey, Corey, or not even that, be like, hey, go pick that up for me. My first initial reaction, I'm going to look at you and my face going to say exactly what I mean. And that's not something that I always catch because it's so embedded in me. It's so like, it's just who I am. So again, you can say like, go get that, or it's more of a demand, not a request. My body language don't resonate with that. and it's sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Again, it's not just men, it's women too. You know what I mean? So if I'm in an argument with my lady, I'm in an argument with a female, more so my lady, because a random female would never be able to get to me. But if I'm arguing with my lady or even my mom and they say something to me, I'm probably gonna be reserved. I'm gonna want to resist to the friction that I know I'm about to release. But then if you continue to press that button and now you are now talking at me, the person in me, where whatever part of me kicks in, I react to it. And then that's where that constructive criticism, or that's where not allowing people to lead me, I now, I adhere to that. So that's what I mean by that. Like, that's just one example for me. And again, that's two really women in work. Do y'all feel like y'all noticed some of y'all traits not work in y'all favor more than it do? Or what do you think?
So to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying, bro, because it's like it's all about delivery, you know. So it's all about delivery, man. So like, however, like it's perception. So however, I retain a lot of stuff. I analyze, I process. So you can get that confused with me being arrogant or attitude, like, because I get quiet and I'm processing. Because first of all, it's like when you come to me, like you just brought out the example. If a person say, "Hey, Corey, go get that," you're not gonna go get that. But if they come to you with that delivery, "Hey, Corey, do you mind going to get that paper off the scanner for me?" Okay, cool. You came at me the right way. I'm able to like address the issue, go take care of that issue, and then I can just go ahead and go off of what I do. So, but meanwhile, it's all about like delivery is everything, you know, and whenever a person, because you want that same respect, you know, that person give to you as well. You know what I mean? So, but whenever that person don't give you that, that's whenever we have a problem, you know? So it's an issue after that. So I think more like with the way that I handle things is might not be the way that y'all handle things, but like I get quiet, and that's like one of my triggers. Like it kind of like can throw you off because you'll never know, like, okay, what Jesse thinking, you know, or is he gonna come to me and tell me what he's feeling? I might not ever do that, you know what I'm saying? And that's when I learned tonight that falls into that beta category that I was talking about, because I'm like, I'm not gonna deal with that. I'm out of here. I don't even want to talk about it, you know. But now I'm learning how to let that go and have that conversation. Now, if that person, like I said, it's all about how you deliver it to them as well, because you want the same respect. Deliver it to them the right way, you know, and that's whenever you get some good results. You might have some good results. If that person don't, you know, if they go off on you or something like that, they got the issue. You feel what I'm saying? That's something that they need to fix, you know, about themselves. So yeah, but like I just thought about when you was talking about that, I just thought about the importance of delivery, man. Like how you deliver it to me, like, and then that's where we can go from there.
Yeah, and that goes back to, like I said, a conversation that we just had, you know, with the difficult conversations. You know, like that was probably pretty much one of the main things is like, and I said it, you know, we pretty much all said it. It's like you can almost say anything to me as long as you frame it properly. You know, you can almost say anything to me, but if you don't frame it properly, I'm not gonna hear it. It's gonna go one ear out the other. You know what I mean? I'm not going. It's just not going. It's not going to land. So if you really want something to you know to land, to stick, so to speak, you got to make sure that you deliver it, you know, on point. Um, I feel like, you know, I guess you say, you know, I know I could be set in my ways. I know I could be stubborn, you know, and I think that could have some hindrance sometimes as far as when it comes to relationships. Just being immovable, you know, like if I'm standing on business, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, for real. Then that's just that's just where I'm at. And the more that you try to move me, the firmer I get planted. and it's almost irritating. Like I'll fly off on you. Like, look, I said no, so stop asking me about it. You know what I mean? Like I'll shut it down with the quickness. Like, no, I said no. So the more you keep asking me to do it, the more it's gonna piss me off. You know what I mean? And I guess you would say that's not necessarily the best way to go about things, especially when you in relationships. You know what I mean? Your personal relationships with your lady, with if it can be whatever. But that's just something that, in a sense, I'll have to live with, because I mean, if not to say that it's good to be set in your ways, but if I told you, if I'm telling you this, and you continue to try to move me off that, you can if you can preface it a different way, and I might change. You know what I'm saying? I might change up. But if you're still coming at the same way, I'm not going to change. I'm not moving from that. I'm there, and that's where I'm at. Deal with it or not, I don't care. So that stubbornness could, in a sense, be a hindrance sometime, but that's just what it is. So,
I feel that one. Trust. Hey, Scorpio, we stubborn. Hey, I'm working though. I'm a work in progress. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, some things I will, take heed, or might, like, it might be take me processing, just like you said, Jess. It might take me some time. Okay, let me, after the situation is over and done with, I might sit back and think about it, like, all right, let me see if I can. Let me see, like I'm, neglecting, like not in the happiest mood of doing it. But if I feel like if there could be something in the back of my head, like, man, you can change up a little bit, man. Just think about it. And it's like, all right, let me see how I could, adjust, and then come back to the situation and say, you know what, okay, I thought about it a little bit. Probably going to, move off that stance I was on for a minute. But like I said, it's not going to be on your court.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be up to me if I want to say, you know what, and that's where that book, the was that the way of the
Way of the Peaceful Warrior.
is that the book you were just talking about? I mean, the one that you said I just read this recently.
Way of the Peaceful Warrior with
it's something of the man, the
it's
purpose
yeah,
man,
the way of the
Superior
superior man. That's
the
it.
way of the superior man. That's what was said in there. It's like, especially when dealing with your lady or something, you can't necessarily, you'll go to her for counsel, so to speak. You know what I mean? As let me get your opinion on this, and you won't change because she said it, or you'll take what she says into account. You know what I mean? Think about it, process it, and if it fully makes sense, then yeah, boom. That's when you make that adjustment. Not because she said you should do it. It's about taking the information in, processing it. Does it truly make sense for you to do that? Okay, let's do it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So that's just another aspect of it. But yeah, man. And that all comes into, I mean, that book right there in and of itself, The Way of the Superior Man, is kind of a lot of the stuff that they talk about is alpha, sigma. I mean, and at the same time, we can come back to this conversation because I feel like we need to get deeper into the other types, because I mean, if like I said, not every man is the same. Not we're all different on this planet, man. You know what I mean? Like, and like we said, we don't necessarily have to have a title, but if something can truly break down or show you who you are as a man or as a person, then why not take heed to that information? It's just like that birthday book we've been talking about. That book is on point. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'd be stupid to, if I recognize something that's, I go to November 1st, 1978, 223, you know, if it breaks, I forget if it breaks down the times or not, but if as you're reading it and it's like, damn, that's true, that's true, that's true, that's true, I'd be dumb to disregard it. Because it's right there, like it's right there in front of you. So to disregard and act like it's not true, come on, man, you're being ignorant at that point, you know. So it's important, like I said, to at least take these different, you know, if they're different character traits or titles, so to speak. If I can gain any bit of knowledge about who I am as a person by checking them out and doing the knowledge to them, I'm going to do it. It's not going to dictate everything that I do, but I'm at least going to take it in, receive it, and apply it. Bottom line.
Hey, Henry, I know you want to say something. I just want to kind of veggie back off of what you and Jesse just said. The delivery is everything, regardless who you talking to. And I think when we speaking of just relationships that you have with people, if those people, again, male, female, boss, wife, relationship, brother, sister, cousin, whomever, if they create a space for us to be ourselves, it really don't matter what version of us is existing in that present moment, rather it be the beta or the alpha. If that space is created, you can now basically perfect that version of you in that moment. Because again, like you said, if I am going to my lady to ask her for her opinion, that's because I respect her opinion. But I first have to feel comfortable to come to you to then ask for your opinion. And you did that for me, so now I'm coming back to you. It's a transactional thing. So I just want to add that in there, man.
Yeah.
Henry?
I think we all each know who we are at our core. Yeah. But I think we all will agree that, you know, to do this thing that is life, we all have to occupy different characteristics in order to make it to the end or to the finish line. Be it, you know, at your job where you actually have to move in the space of alpha, which the irony of it is I would have to move in that space as well as the beta, because you could very well have where you got emergencies going on, you have to be able to attack, dictate, and be on top of everything that's going on. But in the same, you could very well have somebody that's going through something at home, and you have to be that compassionate person to man to man, bro. You all right? Those two can exist, but I don't think in the exact same space. Mm-hmm. We have to be able to maneuver through life, and at times we're gonna have to, you know, walk in the shoes of each one of them, and it's ultimately gonna build who you're gonna wind up being throughout the future of your life. This conversation, it has the opportunity to go on over several conversations, just unpacking it. Because in all honesty, what this has the potential to do is anybody who can tune into this, listen to what we're saying, you know, research it for yourself, but actually give it some thought. And you can see where each one of these characteristics are around you on a daily basis, be it your home life, your work life, your relationship with your boys. It's really not rocket science. It's all around. You see people that resemble you, well, maybe not resemble, but they remind you of somebody else. It's not so much that they look alike, they have some characteristic that remind you of one another. Once you know that, and I guess you kind of walk in the field of alpha at that particular point in time, you can see, you know, how to use that to your advantage. And that, I'm not saying that in a negative connotation where now you this evil master, but how you, as you move through life, how you can utilize the people that's in your tribe to help you succeed in whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. That becomes a very powerful tool. Like this really is I guess our amateur masterclass on building your tribe and becoming a better man. a better person to your community, a better provider within your household, and just a better brother to your brethren.
Preach, Brother Henry.
Yes,
I'm-
sir. Yes, sir.
Why I say,
Yo,
yes,
this was a high level conversation, man. Shout out to 19 Keys and the high level conversations, but this was one of those high level conversations, man. I'm glad we decided to have it. You know what I mean? Like, I knew it was going to be a good one, but I didn't realize how powerful it was going to be. I mean, I definitely learned a lot. Like you said, Jess, man, like doing the research is highly important, man. Like, you know,
and
the
until
devil's in the details. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's yeah, man. This was a great convo that we had. I'm definitely glad we had it. Anything else we want to add before we wrap up?
I'm gonna wrap up with shout out to my pop. He been rocking with us for a minute. He got me this brim right here. If y'all can read it,
Yes, sir.
and it's gratitude, man. And then, you know what I mean? 1011, that's his brand. I'm supporting my black people, supporting my black brother. Y'all tap in, man, whenever y'all get a chance, man. It's one of them things that, it got meaning to it, so I can support it. So just wanted to shout out, bro. You already know
He got a website, Instagram. What's his Instagram?
Yeah,
That's it right there. Okay, that's what's up.
You already know, man. World Vision. This is June. June is Men's Mental Health Month, but I'm also supporting my black people, man, because Black History Month don't end for me. So although we touching male subjects, we touching men's mental health, I still want to give shout out to those people who are being a trailblazer in whatever category they fall in. I can represent them in a way. You know what I mean? So I'm just want to show some love to my brothers that's out there. World Vision on the T.
World Vision, yes, sir.
That's it.
Yeah, man. That's it for me, bro. That was a lot, man.
Hey, y'all dropped
it all in.
Yeah, y'all dropped some keys today, man. I'm appreciating this one. Like you said, it's different levels too. Henry, I think I all said it's levels to this conversation. It can go on and on.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So we appreciate y'all, everybody, for checking it out, tuning in. Continue to rock with us. Continue to support. Make sure like I said, if you can't check us out on YouTube, we on Spotify too. So this episode will be, you can check it out on Spotify. So you can, if you got a job where you driving or you're doing stuff that you can't really sit down and watch, check us out on Spotify podcast for Spotify for podcasts. So it used to be Anchor, but now it's they Spotify bought it out. That's how the game go. But we on there. Said YouTube. We on TikTok. Instagram. We everywhere, man. We doing what we can to expand. You know what I mean? So continue to rock with us. Continue to support. Comments, emails. We take it all. So yeah. So for said for the brothers, profound conversations with brothers across the nation. This is the Profound Nation podcast. So till next time, we'll see y'all.
God bless.